It's getting late. On the bustling streets, a cold wind gradually blew. The temperature in the air also gradually dropped. But, as the most prosperous city in the entire Marvel world, New York is still full of pedestrians on the streets. Among them, Lin Yu is included. It seems that the weather is cooling a bit faster. Lin Yu couldn't help but pull his collar. And at this moment, a strange reminder sound suddenly sounded in Lin Yu's mind. Ding. Your coat feels a hint of cold in the air, and you decide to increase its thickness to resist cooling. Ding. Your leather boots are inspired by your coat, and they actively grow some fluff inward, increasing your cold resistance ability. Immediately afterwards, Lin Yu felt that his coat seemed to have become heavier. And the inside of the boots on his feet seemed to be softer. Only Lin Yu can hear this prompt. But, although the sound was strange, and the variation of clothes and shoes was even more weird, Lin Yu had already taken care of it. Since traveling to this world, Lin Yu has acquired this ability. Yes. Lin Yu is not from this world, he is a traverser. After traveling into this world, he replaced the original 14-year-old Asian boy who was somewhat withdrawn and was almost bullied to death by other children in the orphanage. Now, it has been 4 years since Lin Yu came to this world. The age of Lin Yu's body is already 18 years old. In the law of the United States, it is considered an adult. Therefore, Lin Yu also inherited the inheritance left by the dead parents. A grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan. The grocery store has been closed for a long time, but since Lin Yu came, he opened it again. Although the business was average, Lin Yu had nowhere else to go, so he simply settled in a grocery store. These days, Lin Yu's life is pretty good with the strange voice on him. Sometimes when you are hungry, some food will suddenly appear in your kitchen. Sometimes when there is a shortage of money, the lucky cat at the door will take the initiative to recruit some guests for itself. In short, life is no problem. But, after living in this world for a while, Lin Yu suddenly found out in horror. There is a captain of the United States in this world. Moreover, there is the Stark Group, the playboy Tony Stark, there is indeed a person. After the initial trance, Lin Yu gradually accepted this fact. That is, this turned out to be the Marvel world. It's the Marvel world that is flying all over the sky and is about to be destroyed at every turn. Originally wanted to use his ability to make a career in this world, but after knowing that this was the Marvel world, Lin Yu gave up this plan. This world is not peaceful. Only by keeping a low profile, it seems that you can live longer. What's more, the voice in my brain can't make me stronger. After trying for this period of time, Lin Yu found that only the things around him can mutate. And originally, he was still just the 18-year-old who couldn't help but feel weak. They come, the security. Lin Yu upholds the traditional Chinese virtues, is a low-key man, and lives in this drunken world. Life can be considered leisurely and contented. This time every evening is Lin Yu's dog walking time. Holding his pet dog Husky, Lin Yu walked the streets of New York unhurriedly, creating a sharp contrast with the hurrying office workers. It's an ordinary day. Lin Yu yawned, wearing glasses that had already mutated to have a perspective function, and carefully looked at the girl in a woolen coat in front of him. It may seem boring, but in fact it is surging. Since this pair of glasses mutated, Lin Yu, a big houseman, always likes to stroll on the street. And, to be more natural, Lin Yu even went to the pet shop to buy a pet dog. With the cute appearance of the huskies, Lin Yu often encounters some enthusiastic beauties squatting down to greet Roar with his huskies. In this regard, Lin Yu is not happy about it. However, there seems to be a sense of tension in the air today. Something different from usual. And, Lin Yu could hear that there seemed to be a helicopter hovering constantly in the air. On the road, the number of police cars seems to be unusually high. Forget it. Let's go home early today. Lin Yu reluctantly retracted his gaze and decided to go back to his grocery store. However, at the moment, on the street where Lin Yu was, the earth shook violently. Immediately afterwards, a sound of huge amounts of heavy objects falling to the ground reached Lin Yu's ears. A huge yellow monster jumped down from the high-rise building in front. That monster, covered with bone spurs, looked extremely ugly. In an instant, the whole street was in chaos. As a man who has done Marvel movies countless times, how can Lin Yu not know this guy? F*K, hate. Lin Yu was terrified. He clearly remembered that the loathing in the movie was killing people everywhere on the streets of New York. Countless cars were trampled on by him, and many pedestrians on the road were killed and injured. Even if the Hulk appeared later, he couldn't deal with the hatred in a short time. Instead, he was almost beaten by hatred, and the battle between the two monsters hurt the innocent. And now, Disgust actually appeared in a position less than 500 meters in front of him. At such a close distance, with hatred of that huge body, it is estimated that it only takes a few steps to come to Lin Yu. Lin Yu doesn't think that his newly thickened coat can block a finger of hatred. As for see-through glasses, they are even more useless in this case. After all, after the hatred was transformed, it was already naked. Don't hurry up at this time, what are you waiting for? Lin Yu is not flabbergasted, but, just when Lin Yu was about to run, but suddenly found out, the rope in his hand can't be touched. His pet dog, Husky, was shivering on the ground. The Husky was terrified. "Erha, you idiot, go!" Lin Yu shouted anxiously. But Erha, who is usually obedient, can't move his trembling body. Don't think Erha is just a pet dog, but its size is not small. Moreover, because it has done a lot of good things for Lin Yu, life here is good. This also caused Erha's weight to be obviously a little overweight. Lin Yu was anxious. Can't you just leave it here? Seeing the abomination in the distance, it began to destroy everywhere. Lin Yu is even more anxious, but, at this time, the familiar reminder in Lin Yu's mind rang again. Ding! Your pet dog Erha is extremely scared, and the blood of the three-headed dog of the Hell of the Awakening is greatly enhanced. What the hell? Lin Yu was really dazed this time. This idiot Erha can actually awakening the blood of Hell's three dogs? It's crazy. And, after Lin Yu traveled through this world, although the things around him have been mutating, it is the first time that such a powerful mutation has appeared. Hell three-headed dog, can he do that hatred? Then, can't you run? After Erha became a three-headed dog in Hell, do he still know himself? Just when Lin Yu's hesitation was undecided, Erha, who was originally lying on the ground and trembling constantly, finally began to undergo terrifying changes in his body. A lot of dark red matter suddenly emerged from its body. Immediately afterwards, Erha's body began to grow constantly. The terrifying and scorching breath gradually erupted from its body. At the position of its shoulder, there were 2 more bumps. Those 2 bumps gradually became the image of the head. The tail became like a snake with scales, and on its body, a dark red flame was burning. The temperature of these flames is very high. Lin Yu could clearly see that the road at its feet was melting. In just a few seconds, Lin Yu's pet dog turned into a 3-headed hell dog with a height of 5 or 6 meters and burning with hellfire. Lin Yu was so scared that he hurriedly ran away. It's too hot. Lin Yu can even feel that his eyebrows and hair have already exuded the smell of burnt. At the moment, Lin Yu ran while looking at 2 monsters in the distance. That originally ugly and terrifying abomination, in front of the 3-headed dog of hell, looked a little cute. Not only in appearance, even in size, the 3-headed hell dog is a lot bigger than hatred. Erha turned into a 3-headed dog in hell, with 3 huge amounts of heads rising to the sky and roaring at the same time. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were attracted by the terrifying look of the 3-headed hell dog. Abomination is no exception. It is now worrying that the strength of the whole body is useless. Suddenly seeing the huge body of the 3-headed dog in hell, his hatred eyes lit up. And Erha, who turned into a 3-headed dog in hell, didn't look like he was afraid before. From its 6 nostrils, scorching flames exploded. The 6 eyes of huge amounts of all looked at the disgust that was not far away. The war is about to start. Ding! Your coat felt a scorching breath in the air, and actively reduced its thickness and increased air permeability. Ding! Your thick leather boots sensed the sweat from your feet and took the initiative to remove the fluff and lower the temperature inside the shoes. Damn, at this time, how can the temperature be lowered? Lin Yu still has time to manage the heat at this time, speeding up his escape from the battlefield. Anyway, Erha no longer needs to manage it by himself. Then take care of your own life. After all, his body has not mutated. Just when Lin Yu sprinted, and the 2 monsters of hell's 3-headed dog and abomination were about to take action. Over New York City, General Ross has just received a report from his men on the ground. A monster with huge amounts of body has appeared on the streets of New York City and is destroying everywhere. General Ross looked at Bruce Banner, who was still in handcuffs and sitting in the helicopter, with a dazed expression on his face. The Hulk was clearly in his own helicopter. What is the monster below? General Ross hurried to the video screen in front of the helicopter. This video was taken in real time by soldiers on the ground using a camera on their heads. In the picture, hate huge amounts of body, hideous and terrifying. General Ross glanced back at Banner, and then at the hatred in the video. For a while, there was a pain in his head. Just catching Banner was hard enough. The monster on the ground now looks more terrifying than the Hulk. And I can't ignore it yet. This monster is obviously similar to the Hulk, it is definitely because of his own actions that he appeared. If you don't care about it and let him destroy here, you will definitely be blamed on it. What a big trouble. General Rose frowned and began to arrange the army on the ground to attack the yellow monster. And at the moment, on the helicopter, Dr. Bruce Banner also saw the scene on the ground through the glass on the helicopter window. Regarding that monster, Banner knew at first glance that it was definitely made with his own blood. Dr. Banner knows very well that if only the firepower on the ground is used, there is no way to deal with that monster. In his heart, although he was extremely reluctant, he was already thinking whether he should go down and stop the slaughter of that monster. However, just when Banner was about to volunteer to deal with the yellow monster, he suddenly discovered that there seemed to be other movements on the ground. A dark red flame suddenly appeared not far from the hatred. Dr. Banner hurriedly took a closer look. It turned out that the dark red flame turned out to be a more terrifying monster. It has 3 huge amounts of heads, and its huge body is almost 4 or 5 times as much as hateful. What kind of monster is this? Banner yelled out of silence. An abomination is already difficult to deal with. And now, there was one that looked even more terrifying. How to do this? In front of the helicopter, General Ross heard Banner's call and hurriedly looked at the screen in front of him. In the video, there was a fire, and there were noisy screams and explosions everywhere. General Ross hurriedly used the communicator to contact the soldiers on the ground and asked, "What's the situation below?" On the ground, a soldier stared at the 3-headed hell dog in the distance, his face was full of desperate fear. Hearing the voice of General Ross in the communicator, he replied somewhat dully, General, there is another monster underneath, which is bigger than the previous one, and it is still burning with flames." This soldier didn't know how to describe the monster in front of him. It looks so strange. It was clearly the body of a dog, but with 3 heads, it looked extremely hideous. And even hundreds of meters away, the soldier could feel the burning sensation from the monster's body. He couldn't imagine if that monster approached him. I'm afraid that even if the monster doesn't attack itself, but just gets closer, it will burn itself into coke. On the helicopter, General Ross also saw the 3-headed dog of hell through the video. His face instantly became extremely ugly. The hatred is okay, at least science can explain it. But what is that monster with dark red flames burning all over? How to deal with it? For a while, General Ross didn't even know what to do. At this moment, Dr. Banner spoke, his tone as if he was going to die generously. "Open the cabin door and let me go, you can't deal with those 2 monsters." Dr. Banner's eyes seemed to have a hint of despair. He knew that even if he became the Hulk, he might not necessarily be the opponent of those 2 monsters. But he can't die without saving. Moreover, this matter seems to have arisen from oneself. On the side, the daughter of General Ross, the ex-wife of Dr. Banner, looked at her ex-husband worriedly. She discouraged. "You can't deal with those 2 monsters even if you go down, you are going to die." However, Dr. Banner was clearly determined. In front of the helicopter, General Ross looked at Banner with a complicated expression, and said, "Are you sure you can deal with those 2 monsters?" Banner looked at this hateful guy calmly and said, "Do you have any good ideas?" Really? General Rose was completely helpless. Just now, the report from his subordinates has been sent from the communicator. That yellow monster is not afraid of firearms at all. Even a large caliber machine gun cannot cause any damage to it at all. Although the other 3-headed monster hadn't attacked yet, it was obviously not easy to deal with. "Open the rear door," General Ross ordered. Immediately afterwards, the rear door of the helicopter opened slowly. Through the rear door, you can clearly see everything on the ground. Dr. Banner, you were ready to sacrifice yourself. However, at the moment, just when Dr. Banner was about to jump down, his ex-wife pointed to the ground and said in horror, "Bruce, look, those 2 monsters are fighting." On the helicopter. Hearing what his daughter said, General Rose also hurriedly looked to the ground. Then, his eyes lit up suddenly. Those 2 monsters were killed together. This is really good news. It would be better if the 2 monsters died together. Bruce Banner also saw the battle on the ground. He hesitated and retracted the foot that was about to step down. Now that the 2 monsters are fighting, it's better to watch the changes first. At the moment, on the ground, disgusting hearing the 3-headed dog of hell seemed to feel provocation. It stepped forward and rushed to the 3-headed dog of hell. Although in terms of size and appearance, the 3-headed hell dog looks a little stronger. But Abomination was originally extremely warlike, and coupled with having just turned into Abomination, self-confidence has never been hit. At the moment, his face was full of excitement, and he rushed to the 3-headed hell dog. But the three-headed dog of hell did not rush towards each other immediately. Just as the hatred was coming, one of its heads suddenly turned to the rear. Its gaze searched in the crowd. Although awakening the blood of the Hell Three dogs, it is still the same. In its instinct, it still has the idea of protecting its master. Finally, its eyes saw the thin figure. Own master has already ran far away. Moreover, they are constantly running far away. Seeing that his owner was safe, the eyes of the 6 huge amounts of Hell's three-headed dog instantly burned with even more fierce flames. The three-headed hell dog, originally also an extremely combative creature. It's even more cruel than hatred, at the moment. The hatred has come to hell, the three-headed dog is less than 10 meters away. But, compared to the arrogant appearance that hated just now, it seemed to have some hesitation in its eyes now. Because, when it got close to the three-headed dog of hell, it was horrified to find it. The temperature around the three-headed dog in hell is too high. Although it has strong resistance to flames, the flames on the three-headed dog of hell are not ordinary flames. I can even feel the hatred, a strong tingling sensation on my skin. But now the hatred is already on the line, and I have to send it. The three-headed dog of hell has also begun to rush towards him. If you retreat at this time, I am afraid it is too late. In the eyes of disgust, fierce fighting spirit broke out again. Simply, fight it. Disgusted with huge amounts of fists, he began to wave. But obviously, it underestimated the speed of the three-headed hell dog. Hell's three-headed dog, one of its heads, opened its mouth wide and met a fist of abomination. And, faster than hatred, in an instant, he bit directly on the arm of hatred. The terrifying fangs, accompanied by the scorching heat, directly pierced the skin on abomination's arm. The mucus in the three-headed hell dog's mouth dripped on the abominable arm, and it made a chi-chi sound. For an instant, set a verdict on top of one another. Howl of hatred madly. Its other hand madly beat the body of the three-headed hell dog. However, he was completely unable to withdraw his arm from the big mouth of the three-headed hell dog. And I can feel the hatred, that arm of my own seems to be about to be melted. Because of being too close to the body of the three-headed dog in hell, the skin on his face and chest also gradually turned into charred black. At this time, the other head of the three-headed hell dog moved again. Its mouth once again bit the other arm of hatred. In this way, the two heads used a little bit of force, and they directly pulled the loathing body from the ground. The situation of the battle completely fell to the three-headed dog of hell. At the moment's hatred is like roasting a whole lamb racked on a stove. The hands were held mercilessly, and a strong smell of barbecue came out of his body. The only regret is that the grill seems a little burnt. Around the battlefield, the pedestrians who had been scared by the appearance of the two monsters gradually stopped. They all looked at the battle in the middle of the battlefield. Originally thought it was a fierce battle, but no one thought that the strength of the two monsters was so different. The originally arrogant yellow monster was defeated in an instant. The monster with dark red flames burning all over it was really too powerful. Not only is the flame on his body extremely terrifying, even its power is definitely not comparable to that of the yellow monster. On the helicopter, both General Rose and Bruce Banner also felt a little weird. The two of them understand the strength of the Hulk very well. Therefore, for the yellow monster that inherited the power of the Hulk, they thought it would be very strong. But I didn't expect to lose out so quickly, this moment. Bruce Banner even felt a little scared. If I jump down by myself just now, I am afraid my ending will be the same as hatred. In addition to the passers-by and the military at the scene of the battle between the three-headed dog in hell and the hatred, there were also reporters who rushed to hear the news. At the moment, reporters from several media all came to the scene with camera crews. This kind of monster attacking the city is definitely the event that attracts the most traffic. Those reporters, in order to be able to take the best shots, ignored their lives and approached the center of the battlefield. At the same time, the battle that took place in the center of New York was broadcast live on TV and mobile phones. Countless ordinary people, turning on the TV and picking up their mobile phones, are watching the situation in New York. The terrifying image of the three-headed dog from the hell is clearly visible on the TV and mobile screens. On its body, the dark red flames seem to have turned into hundreds of pythons, dancing with their teeth and claws. The mucus in its mouth dripped on the ground, and it could even corrode deep pits on the ground. The abhorrence of being bitten by the three-headed dog of hell has no resistance at all. Its body has become limp. Seem. The flame close at hand has cooked it half-cooked. At this time, when everyone thought the battle was over, the three-headed hell dog moved again. The head in the center of it suddenly opened its big mouth. At the head of hatred, bit the past. Oh my God. What is it going to do? Does this monster want to eat another monster? Too disgusting. That scene, not only the ordinary people watching the live broadcast, felt a bit disgusting. Even General Ross, who was used to seeing strong winds and waves, couldn't help feeling nauseous. In everyone's eyes, the three-headed helldog opened the big mouth of the head in the center, and directly bit off the hatred head. Then, after chewing twice, he swallowed. Fear. Horror. This scene scared everyone away hurriedly. Some courageous girls even just looked at the screen of their mobile phones and screamed in shock. Just when the three-headed helldog bit off his hated head and swallowed it down. The Ancient One magician, who was on the other side of the earth, seemed to be faintly aware of something. Although she is in Kamar Taj now, she can feel that there seems to be an extremely evil and terrifying force appearing on the earth. That power is pure evil. Even Ancient One magician faintly felt some heart palpitations. What is it that can penetrate the defenses of the three holy places silently and come to the earth? Ancient One magician muttered to himself. She hurriedly opened the portal and stepped in. On the other side of the portal is the holy place in New York, New York. After coming to the holy place in New York, Ancient One magician felt even more intense. She was able to smell the pure evil power in the air. Although this power is a bit weaker than Dormammu in the dark dimension, it will definitely cause extremely terrifying destruction when it appears on the earth. The duty of Ancient One magician is to defend against foreign invasions. A portal appeared again in front of Ancient One magician. She decided to go and see it in person. With a gentle step, Ancient One appeared in the center of New York City. It was only a few hundred meters away from the huge body of the three-headed dog of hell. What kind of monster is this? When seeing the appearance of the three-headed dog in hell, even Ancient One magician couldn't help but be a little surprised. This huge body, terrifying flames, and three weird heads completely exceeded Ancient One's imagination. But, in an instant, Ancient One decided to take action. Because she can feel that as long as this monster exists, it will cause a lot of damage to her surroundings. Just the terrifying temperature has already killed countless human beings. However, just when Ancient One was about to make a move, something strange happened. The three-headed helldog, after swallowing his hateful head in one bite, his body began to shrink crazily. In less than a second, the huge three-headed helldog disappeared. Ancient One, which had already released the spell in his hand, stood blankly on the spot. After the three-headed dog of hell disappeared, the high temperature in the air gradually dropped. And that kind of evil aura that disappeared instantly. It's as if it has never appeared before. Everything happened too fast. Even Ancient One did not respond at this moment. After the huge body of the three-headed helldog disappeared, she hurried to the center of the battlefield in 2 steps. But there is no longer the breath of the three-headed helldog on the ground. There was only one headless corpse, lying on the ground in dilapidated condition. For hatred, Ancient One has no interest at all. Because she could see that hatred was not an intruder from the outside world, but a test product made by humans on Earth. This is not within the scope of Ancient One's attention. But what about the monster burning with flames? Ancient One looked around, only a mess left, and that terrifying monster has long disappeared. As a supreme magician who is proficient in space magic, Ancient One can clearly perceive that there is no fluctuation in the space in the center of the battlefield. In other words, that monster could not have been teleported away by the power of space. But the way it disappeared seems very strange. It's like disappearing out of thin air. Ancient One looked around, and apart from a husky in the distance, running far away, there was no living creature. So, where did that monster go? Ancient One is puzzled. But when Ancient One looked at the hated headless corpse on the ground again, her heart was suddenly shocked. No. Ancient One called. Things are not right. The abominable corpse on the ground is scorched. It's like being burnt. But the husky that I saw just now, there is no abnormality in the whole body's hair. No exception is the biggest exception. The monster that was burning with flames just now was here, and even the humans nearby were burned to death a lot. That husky can't be alive. It is even more unlikely that the hair on the body is intact. Hateful. Why didn't I notice it just now? Ancient One hurriedly turned around, looked in the direction where the husky disappeared, and hurriedly pursued it forward. But the husky seemed to be running in a hurry, and it had disappeared among the chaotic crowd. The crowd is really messed up. After the three-headed dog of hell disappeared, many people who had been hiding in shopping malls and buildings hurriedly ran out of it and ran into the distance. The husky also disappeared among the crowd. Ancient One can only frown and leave quietly. Although that husky looks a little unusual. However, Ancient One didn't think that the monster was changed from that pet dog. After all, the two creatures look completely different, and there is no way to even connect them together. She just thought that Husky was a little weird. At the same time, Lin Yu has already returned to his grocery store. His little heart is still beating. At this time, on the second floor of Lin Yu's grocery store, a girl's voice suddenly came. "Brother, are you back?" Immediately afterwards, with beautiful brown hair and wearing this red dress, the beautiful little girl walked downstairs. Seeing the girl, Lin Yu hurriedly took off his see-through glasses. This little girl is Lin Yu's younger sister. Definitely, not her biological sister. When in the orphanage, only she and Lin Yu had the best relationship. Therefore, after Lin Yu inherited her own grocery store, he brought her out. Her name is Wanda. Yes, it's that Wanda. Lin Yu was also a little dazed at first. However, destiny is such a trick, making Wanda her sister. Although she is a sister who is not related by blood, Lin Yu doesn't like to take advantage of others. Therefore, the glasses must still be taken off. Definitely, the reason for taking off those glasses is not because Lin Yu is a gentleman. It's because Wanda is only 16 years old. Obviously underage. Although the figure has begun to show its signs, it is still developing. Lin Yu doesn't have any bad habits. "Brother, why do you look so embarrassed? What happened?" Seeing Lin Yu sweating profusely, Wanda asked worriedly. For Lin Yu, Wanda is extremely dependent, whether in the orphanage or now. The two only have each other in this world, relying on each other for fate. "It's nothing, it's just that I met a mad dog outside, which shocked me," Lin Yu explained hurriedly. As for the hatred in the three-headed dog in hell, Lin Yu is not going to tell Wanda. Although in the Marvel movie, Wanda is the Scarlet Witch with terrifying power, but now, she is just a very ordinary and somewhat timid little girl. But, speaking of mad dogs, Wanda asked with a look of confusion, "Brother, where's the second of our family?" Lin Yu goes out to walk the dog every evening, Wanda knows it. But, why did my brother come back by himself today? Where did Erha go? Wanda's eyes circled the room twice, but found nothing. Lin Yu was speechless for a while. How can this be explained? The relationship between Wanda and Erha is much better than the relationship between himself and him. If Erha gets lost, Wanda will be very sad. Lin Yu hesitated to find an excuse, and saw that Erha's figure had appeared at the door. Lin Yu was shocked at once, and hurriedly backed away 2 steps. The terrifying appearance of the three-headed dog in hell still lingered in Lin Yu's mind. Now, seeing Erha, I was a little frightened. Especially when I thought, if Erha had a transformation in his grocery store, wouldn't it be that all of his possessions would be gone? Thinking of this, Lin Yu even suddenly had an idea. Maybe you should take some time to buy insurance for your grocery store. Wanda didn't notice Lin Yu's scared expression at that moment. Seeing Erha's return, she rushed over, picked up Erha, and touched Erha's head affectionately. This scene made Lin Yu feel a little trembling again. Wanda actually picked up a three-headed hell dog. But Lin Yu is obviously too worried. Erha's body did not show any difference from before. There were no 3 heads changed, and no flames burned. In short, there is no change in appearance, but there are still some differences. When Wanda picked up Erha, its eyes looked at Lin Yu. Lin Yu actually saw some resentment in the eyes of those dogs. It seems that Erha is a little dissatisfied with Lin Yu's performance of escaping alone. Definitely, it may also be that I was a little dissatisfied with Lin Yu's words that he was a mad dog before. If a human being shows this kind of emotion, Lin Yu will never be surprised. But this is just a pet dog. It will show a bitter expression. Too exaggerated. In the past, Erha definitely did not have such a rich emotional expression. Lin Yu secretly guessed that it must be this mutation that gave Erha a certain amount of wisdom. Just then, in Lin Yu's mind, a familiar reminder suddenly appeared again. Ding, congratulations, the host has reached the system start conditions, the infinite mutation system is for you. Hearing this prompt sound, Lin Yu was immediately happy. System. It turned out that the system came. Although the prompt sound was often heard before, this was the first time I heard the word system. As a rebirth, how could Lin Yu not know the system? System. But the greatest reliance of every rebirth. Infinite mutation system. What kind of ability do you have? Lin Yu asked hurriedly. In Lin Yu's mind, the voice of the system sounded again. The main function of the infinite mutation system is to make everything around the host mutate randomly, and the level of mutation increases as the system level increases. The improvement of the system level requires plot points. The more the host participates in the Marvel plot, the more plot points are obtained, and the faster the system level will increase. The appearance of mutation is random, but it needs the host to be in the environment and events to trigger it. Under normal circumstances, the more dangerous the host is, the more likely it is to trigger the mutation of objects around it. Listening to the explanation of the system, Lin Yu gradually understood the ability of this system. It is different from the systems he has seen in the novels in his previous life. This system does not need to be controlled by itself. Everything in it is triggered automatically, and everything is instantaneous. There is only one thing I can master, and that is to increase the level of the system by obtaining plot points. Then what level are you now? Lin Yu asked again. The infinite mutation system panel is open. Immediately afterwards, a panel glowing with blue light suddenly appeared in front of Lin Yu. Host. Lin Yu system level. Level 1, 3 plot points are required to upgrade to level 2. Plot points. 2 points, participate in the Hulk Wars and hate the plot, get 3 plot points, but because the Hulk did not appear, so get 2 plot points. Probability of level 1 mutants, 100% probability of second-order variants, 1%, triggered in extreme cases. Probability of third-order variants, 0%, seeing the system panel, Lin Yu has a better understanding of this infinite mutation system. In other words, only by constantly upgrading the system level can you get more powerful mutant items. In the past, I could only obtain some very trash mutant items, such as clothes and shoes. And after encountering hatred, it should have suddenly triggered the 1% probability of second-order biological mutation. So, Erha only became the three-headed dog of hell. In other words, such terrifying creatures as the three-headed dog in hell are just second-order mutants. If you upgrade your system to the next level, what powerful things will appear? In Lin Yu's heart, he was already looking forward to it. And this time, Lin Yu looked at Erha in front of him again, and suddenly a line of small characters appeared on Erha's head. Name. Husky variation direction. Blood of the three-headed dog in hell. Variation level. Second-order anomaly. Due to swallowing the blood containing the Hulk gene, the husky is continuing to mutate in an unpredictable direction. When he saw the last line of small characters, Lin Yu was suddenly taken aback. This Erha not only has the blood of the three-headed dog of hell, but also swallowed the blood of the Hulk. Good luck. At this moment, Lin Yu looked at other places. Really? There are a lot of things that have mutated in my own grocery store. Name. Lucky cat variation direction. Lucky function. Variation level. Level 1 inch. Name. Jacket variation direction. Breathability. Variation level. Level 1 inch. Name. Wanda variation direction. Attachment to Lin Yu. Variation level. Level 1 inch. When Lin Yu looked around and saw the line of small prints on the head of his little sister Wanda, his heart suddenly became calm. Original. Wanda has also mutated. However, I didn't hear the prompt sound of her mutation. When did she mutate? Could it be that in the middle of the night while I was asleep, I quietly broke into my bedroom and hugged myself to sleep? Just when Lin Yu returned to his grocery store and resumed his usual peaceful life. In a secret military base in New York, General Rose was frowning, listening to the report. General, after I investigated all the monitoring equipment and all the mobile phone storages present, I found this picture. A soldier wearing a camouflage uniform used a remote control to open the big screen in front of General Ross. Immediately afterwards, the scene of the streets of New York in the evening appeared in the picture. In the video screen, there was a young man holding a husky and was shopping. At the moment, after a few seconds, the whole picture vibrated. In the distance of the video, the hateful figure suddenly fell from the sky and began to destroy everywhere. And that young man, like most ordinary people, was taken aback. And, the response is extremely fast, hastily turned around and ran. But failed to run away. Because he looked thin and weak, the hand holding the rope didn't even pull the fat husky. Seeing this scene, almost all the soldiers in the room couldn't help but laugh. In their eyes, the young man's movements were a bit funny. Obviously I want to escape, but I can't pull my pet dog. This is too thin. It's too weak to help the wind. Even General Ross's original serious face seemed to loosen. He turned his head and looked at his subordinates. His eyes seemed to be asking, "You found such a funny guy after investigating for a long time?" But the soldier smiled and explained, "General, you can look at the back." Then General Rose looked at the big screen again. In the picture, the thin young man suddenly showed a struggling look on his face. It seems to be thinking about whether to give up your pet dog and run away by yourself, or continue to think of ways to take your pet dog away. And that pet dog also seems to have a personality similar to his owner. At the moment, it lay on the ground and clamped its tail. You can see its body trembling slightly in the video. Obviously, he was scared to the extreme, but just when everyone is a little relaxed. In the picture, the body of the pet dog Husky suddenly changes. A dark red substance spewed out from its body. Immediately afterwards, its body suddenly grew bigger. It's like a balloon being inflated. And that young man, seeing the changes in the Huskies, did not turn his head and ran away without hesitation. Soon it disappeared in the video screen, but at this time, everyone's attention was not on the young man's body. Instead, they all stared at the Husky in the center of the screen. Its size is still skyrocketing frantically. Just a short while later, its body turned into a huge monster with 3 heads and a height of 5 or 6 meters, burning with dark red terrifying flames all over. That huge and terrifying figure occupies almost the entire screen. All the soldiers in this room took a breath of cold air. Some even just saw the 3-headed hell dog in the video, and they took a few steps back in fright. It's horrible. At this moment, the picture also came to an abrupt end. It seems that the person who filmed this video also fled the scene. But everything has been shot very clearly. The whole room suddenly fell into extreme silence. Even General Ross was shocked and speechless for a while. He had seen that terrifying monster with his own eyes on the scene. However, viewing at such a close distance on the big screen is now even more shocking. Compared with it, hatred is simply a weak chicken. Even the Hulk is definitely not an enemy of that monster. General Rose suddenly felt that Bruce Banner, who had been caught and locked up by himself, was not fragrant anymore. In the past, General Ross thought the Hulk was very fragrant. If a monster like the Hulk is put on the battlefield, it must be a big killer. But now after seeing the appearance of the 3-headed dog in Hell, the Hulk is not fragrant anymore. Hell's 3-headed dog, a more terrifying and more destructive monster, is really fragrant. And it is not what human beings have become. It's a pet dog. Compared with the complexity and difficulty of human beings, pet dogs look more perfect. Hans, I'll give you half an hour to find out the identity of that pet dog owner, General Rose said to his men with an excited look on his face. Yes, General. A soldier behind General Ross hurriedly started operating on the computer. It is very simple for the military to investigate the identity of an ordinary person. It's estimated that it won't take half an hour. At this moment, General Ross ordered the sturdy soldier next to him, Havoc, take your squad to prepare for action. After finding that man, I want you to bring him and his pet dog back as soon as possible. Hear the order of General Ross. There was a hideous look on the soldier's face. Yes, General. As the strongest special team captain under General Ross, he is full of expectations for this mission. At the moment, except that the military has noticed Lin Yu. SHIELD is also intensively investigating the emergence of the 3-headed dog in Hell. Originally SHIELD director Nick Fury didn't want to care about General Ross. The relationship between the two has never been very good. And, in essence, there is no converging place between the work responsibilities of the two. However, since General Rose's mind gradually deviated from ordinary military thinking, he began to study those evil ways. Nick Fury has gradually paid attention to the powerful general of the military. And at the moment Nick Fury has already started the Avengers project. But the current Avengers are still not enough in number. Only Captain Marvel in outer space, Black Widow and Hawkeye. To be honest, if there is no Captain Marvel, the remaining 2 people are simply not enough to deal with a disaster of this level of alien invasion. So, Nick Fury has long been concerned about the Hulk. When hatred appears, Nick Fury also captured the picture immediately via SHIELD satellite. So, he naturally saw the 3-headed dog of Hell. And it is completely different from the focus of General Ross. General Ross just saw the terrifying fighting power of the 3-headed dog of Hell. And Nick Fury saw the purpose of the 3-headed dog of Hell. It is not as devastating as hate. Although it was under the high temperature of its body, it also killed many people by mistake. But its original intent is to kill the destroyer who hates it. Perhaps the 3-headed dog of Hell is the righteous party? Hill, did you find the news you were looking for? Nick Fury said to the Hill agent. The director, I have found it. His name is Lin Yu. He was once an orphan in an orphanage in New York. He is now the owner of a grocery store on 59th Street in Manhattan. He also has a goddamn sister named Wanda. A Hill agent whispered. Lin Yu's identity is not difficult to investigate. After all, Lin Yu has never hidden himself, and he also didn't expect that one day his pet dog would become the 3-headed hell dog in the public. This is an accident. But although it was just an accident, it has completely exposed Lin Yu to everyone. Hearing Hill agent's report, Nick Fury nodded slightly. The identity of this young man is fairly normal. If he can control his pet dog, maybe he can be invited to join Avengers. After all, the monster with 3 heads in the evening was really strong. Immediately afterwards, Nick Fury arranged again. Call Natasha Romanoff back, let her go to the grocery store and evaluate the target. Avengers is not so easy to join. Nick Fury's requirements are very strict. You must go through a series of assessments to be eligible to join Avengers. Okay, Director. Hill agent responded. Lin Yu has no idea that both S.H.I.E.L.D. and the United States military are investigating himself. Definitely. Even if you know it, there is no way. He didn't want to wander around with his underage sister. This grocery store is my home. No one can drive himself away. Lin Yu sat on the chair behind the bar and leaned back vigorously. The back of the chair does not seem to be particularly comfortable. However, after the emergence of the system, this kind of thing couldn't be easier to solve. Ding. Your chair has sensed the dissatisfaction of the owner. In order not to be eliminated, you decided to evolve into a more comfortable gaming chair. Lin Yu smiled into crescent moons in both eyes. When the system did not appear before, I had been dissatisfied with this chair for a long time. But there has been no mutation, and now. It seems that after the system is completely awakening, more and more mutations are happening around me. Really. After turning into an esports chair, I feel a lot more comfortable sitting on it. Sitting on a comfortable gaming chair and looking at the computer in front of him, Lin Yu suddenly had the urge to play games. Turn on. Log into your World of Warcraft account. Lin Yu began to feel free in the world of the game. And after opening the game, the system prompts that appeared constantly made Lin Yu excited. Ding. Your World of Warcraft game account detects that your balance is insufficient, and automatically recharges yourself $1,000, which improves your favorability in front of the owner. Ding. Your game character feels that he is too weak to satisfy the owner's passionate impulse. He has automatically upgraded to the full level, and has learned all his professional skills. Ding. Your game character is a little envious when seeing the equipment of his teammates, and automatically upgrades his equipment. In Lin Yu's mind, the system prompts kept ringing. Make his heart more excited. Although it's useless, it's cool. But Wanda was a little upset. My old brother, don't accompany me, and I don't want to find a way to make money. The grocery store's business has been a bit bad recently. Although a few people are often taken advantage of, the passenger flow is still too small after all. Brother, don't play games, but think of a way to ensure our food and clothing first, Wanda said bitterly. Lin Yu didn't care. Moreover, the game is indeed a bit cool. Then you can care about business. Go to the door, throw that lucky cat on the ground, kick it twice, and there will be guests coming. Lin Yu was excited to fight in the game, and arranged to Wanda nonchalantly. Hearing Lin Yu's words, Wanda's eyes became more resentful. She lowered her head, looked at her petite body, and sighed slightly in her heart. Although only 16 years old, Wanda, who has lived in an orphanage since childhood, is much more mature than ordinary young people. And his cheap brother, he looks like a child. Who is taking care of whom? It is also difficult to say clearly. And Wanda's thoughts about Lin Yu are definitely more than just brother and sister. Only my own brother, but he doesn't seem to understand anything. Obviously 2 years older than one's own age, but how come they don't have the thoughts that an adult should have? Wanda was speechless. Is it because you are not in good shape? Or are you not proactive enough? Maybe it's my brother that he doesn't think about himself at all. After sighing again, Wanda walked up to the lucky cat boredly. Although Wanda is young, she knows that the lucky cat is just a mascot. If it's like what the old man said, the lucky cat can really attract fortune, wouldn't it be that every household has to be filled with lucky cats? I'm afraid the house at home has to be built like a lucky cat. But she really has no ability to run a store. Definitely. Wanda wouldn't really listen to Lin Yu's words, throwing the lucky cat on the ground and kicking both feet. This kind of naive thing, I am afraid that only children will do it. Wanda gently stroked the beckoning cat's head with one hand, as if stroking a real cat. Beckoning cat, can you really attract wealth? Wanda once again glanced at Lin Yu, who was a little fascinated by playing games, and muttered to himself. At this moment, Lin Yu, who was a little fascinated by the game, suddenly appeared in his mind a system prompt that had nothing to do with the game. Ding. Because your lucky cat felt the mistress's encouragement and launched the ultimate fortune function, your store will be so crowded. Lin Yu was taken aback for a moment, looked up. It happened to see Wanda stroking the head of the lucky cat. No wonder the magnified move, it turned out to be touched by Wanda's little hand. My little sister has a very good temper, but it really works. I used to throw it on the ground and kick it hard to attract 1 or 2 guests. And now, being so coaxed by Wanda, he is planning to let the shop be crowded. Definitely, this is just a random thought by Lin Yu. It's all Wanda's business to come over 100 customers. She has a tight grasp on making money. After thinking for a while, Lin Yu continued to lower his head and put all his energy into the game. At the moment, outside the Lin Yu grocery store, there are 3 young men with tattoos on their bodies, large gold chains on their necks, and hair dyed in fancy colors. They are looking at Lin Yu's grocery store. They are members of the local gang. Lin Yu has inherited this grocery store for several months. They should have come to collect protection fees long ago, but because the 2 gangs have recently been rushing for territory a bit fiercely, it has been delayed until now. At the moment, the 3 gang members finally took time to collect the protection fee on this street. One of the guys with red pigtails kicked open the door of Lin Yu grocery store. The 3 of them walked in swaggeringly. Lin Yu is still playing the game with his head down. Regarding such things as welcoming guests, he always does not ask, no matter what the guests are. Wanda, who was stroking the lucky cat, smiled with joy and hurriedly greeted him. Although these people look fluent, Wanda won't laugh at them because of their looks. It's a customer after all. And Wanda, who grew up in an orphanage, has long been surprised to dye her hair with this kind of tattoo. In the orphanage, almost a little older children will dress themselves up like this. It is said that in this way, you will not be bullied. The 3 gang members, with cold expressions on their faces, looked up at the environment of the store. They will charge protection fees based on the situation in the store. If the business is good and the profit is high, the protection fee will be higher accordingly. And this grocery store looks really shabby. What the store sells is basically a combination of a hardware store and a small supermarket. There is everything, but nothing is complete. This made the 3 of them frown slightly. The business situation of this store is a bit worrying. It seems that there is not much protection fee in this store. At this moment, Wanda greeted him, and there was a smile on his face like a spring breeze. How many distinguished guests? What do you want to buy? Wanda asked happily. Speaking of it, it is indeed a bit strange. Customers in the store usually buy something as long as they come in, and rarely care about whether the price is expensive or not. This is actually a bit strange, but Wanda doesn't care. Just make money. So, as long as there are customers coming, Wanda will enthusiastically roar them. Even if they look fluent, like a gangster. But Wanda's words were a little weird in the ears of these gang members. They have dressed themselves like this in order to show their identity. This little girl didn't even recognize it. I also ask myself, what do I want to buy? The 3 of us, do they seem to be here to buy things? We are obviously here to sell things, and we sell ourselves to help protect these merchants. In these stores, the money given is the protection fee. But just when the 3 people thought that the little girl Wanda was a little funny, none of the 3 noticed. Behind Wanda, the lucky cat's eyes suddenly lit up strangely. The 3 gang members felt that their heads seemed confused at the same time. It's as if it suddenly shorted for a few milliseconds. At this moment, the young man with red pigtails standing in the front shook his head first, and then said, I want to buy some waste paper baskets. Saying these words, the man with the red braid seemed a little strange. However, I don't know why it is strange. Didn't you come to buy something when you walked into a grocery store by yourself? Yes. I'm here to buy things. At this moment, the other fat man behind him frowned and asked suspiciously, what are you doing with a wastebasket? The fat man seemed to be a little dazed. Some people don't know what the 3 of them are doing in this store. The man with red pigtails in front turned his head and suddenly said with a bitter expression, it's not because of you that you throw toilet paper all over the room. If you don't buy a few wastebaskets, can our office be cleaner? The man with the red pigtails seemed to finally think of the reason for buying the wastebasket, and said he hated iron but not steel. He's so old, claiming to be the top thug in the gang all day, and can't even find a girlfriend. Hearing the words of the man with the red pigtail, the fat man nodded as if he didn't understand. Muttered, oh, it seems I really want to buy a few. At this moment, another person suddenly said, I remember, I also want to buy a hammer and a box of nails. The door of my house seems to be broken. Immediately afterwards, the fat man said, just now, you all bought it, so I have to buy some too. I can't come here in vain. Or, I'll buy a fan, the weather seems to be getting hot recently. The 3 people discussed it very pleasantly. But Wanda was in a bad mood, and there was no smile on her face. These guys are too stingy. It's a bargain to buy only such a small amount of things. This business does not seem to make much money. Although facing most customers, Wanda is smiling. But for such stingy customers, she is reluctant to hire roar. At the moment, Seeing the three people discussed it, Wanda reluctantly came to the shelf, picked up 3 wastebaskets, a fan, a hammer, and a box of nails, and threw them on the counter. A total of $50, Wanda said casually without even counting. Her original intention, in fact, is whether to buy or not. In any case, the actual price cannot make much money. Simply, the price is higher. But what surprised Wanda was that the 3 of them did not bargain. The customers in the past didn't bargain, but before, I didn't deliberately calculate the price too high. This time, these things add up to $10 at most. And I asked for 50 yuan, they really paid for hesitation. The man standing in front with the red pigtails took out a large amount of money in his pocket, then counted 50 yuan and handed it to Wanda's hand. Seeing the wad of dollars in that man's hand, Wanda's eyes straightened. I knew I was so rich, so I said it was $500, Wanda obviously regretted it. She really didn't expect that a young man who was so fluent could be so rich. She definitely didn't know that the money was the protection fee that the 3 had just collected in other stores. The man with red pigtails handed $50 to the somewhat sluggish Wanda, and then asked Roar's own companion to pick up the wastebaskets of groceries, turn around and push the door to leave. When I walked out of the gate, I didn't forget to turn my head and said thank you to Wanda. Quite polite. This scene completely broke Wanda's prejudice against these people. She suddenly felt that she had thought wrong before. The strange dress up does not mean that the character is bad. These guys are pretty good. Not good looking, but rich and polite. Well, very good. Brother, look at these customers, just take a few $1,000s in your pocket. Look at you again, you know playing games all day, and you've destroyed yourself, Wanda said with a hatred of iron and steel. But Lin Yu didn't seem to hear his younger sister's complaint. Still lying on the computer screen, working hard. Only. What makes Lin Yu feel ridiculous is that, after Wanda's voice fell, his mobile phone couldn't stand the mutation. Ding. Your mobile phone hates iron but not steel, so you decided to work hard, learn the master-level stock trading skills, and stand up and show your supernatural powers. This sound made Lin Yu stunned and hurriedly stopped the fight in the game. Master stocks? Supernatural powers? Lin Yu was overjoyed instantly. No matter how many other mutations there are, they are not as strong as this ability. Lin Yu hurriedly looked at the mobile phone he had thrown aside casually. At the moment, Lin Yu's eyes, a line of small print has been displayed on the top of the phone. Name. Mobile variation direction. Stocks ability. Variation level. Level 1 variation description. Give it the initial funding, and you will succeed all. Lin Yu gently held up his mobile phone like a treasure, and stroked it gently like Wanda treated the lucky cat. Finally all the hardships are here. You have to rely on the useless thing of the lucky cat to make money, and you don't know how to achieve financial freedom in the year of the monkey. It's different now. With this stock mobile phone, making money is not as simple as drinking water. But at this time, in Wanda's eyes, Lin Yu's behavior was a bit harsh. A big man, holding his mobile phone and groping around. Could it be that there are any shady photos on the phone screen? Wanda couldn't help thinking about it. Especially the look on Lin Yu's face is exactly like seeing his lover. Hateful. A living person stood in front of him, and he didn't even look at it. The shameless fantasy of holding a mobile phone there. Ruthless. It's so ruthless. Wanda was really angry. She pinched her waist and was angrily ready to fight Lin Yu. At least when fighting, he dare not look at himself. There is still physical contact. Wanda likes fighting with Lin Yu the most. But just when Wanda was about to rush to Lin Yu in 3s or 2s and start to fight with him, the door of the grocery store was knocked suddenly. Boom boom boom. The voice is not loud or small, and it is very regular. It seems that the person knocking on the door is very polite. The customer is here again? There are still many customers today. Wanda immediately put away the anger on his face. Compared to packing Lin Yu, she prefers to make money. After living in the orphanage for so long, her greatest wish is to make money that will never be spent and sleep in the pile of money. Even the matter of getting one's own brother can rank second most importantly. Wanda, who fell into the eyes of money, didn't think about why she would knock on the door when she entered the store. Definitely. Usually the store is not closed during the day. It's just that the few young people who were sullen just now were so polite, and they took the door with them when they went out. Boom boom boom. The door was knocked again. Lin Yu is still in close contact with the mobile phone, not caring about the customer's thoughts at all. Wanda has already taken offense. With a professional smile on her face again, she came to the door. He stretched out his hand and gently opened the door. However, what made her unexpected, and even a little frightened? Outside. It turned out not to be a customer. Several soldiers in camouflage uniforms, with guns in their hands, all pointed at them. The leader of the squad, Havoc, even touched his forehead with a pistol. Wanda was terrified. This is the first time Wanda has been robbed of his head in all this long time. I have only seen such plots on TV before, and now it happened to myself. Only by personal experience can I understand what it feels like to be pointed at the head by a gun. Fear gradually spread to the whole body. As the soldier slowly advanced, Wanda also slowly backed away. Finally, when 4 or 5 burly soldiers, wearing camouflage uniforms and holding weapons, all swarmed into the grocery store, Lin Yu saw them. Like Wanda, Lin Yu was also terrified. These soldiers don't seem to be easy to provoke. But when Lin Yu saw Wanda being pointed at his head by a pistol, the fear in his heart suddenly disappeared. The anger began to burn. These guys dare to point a gun at Wanda's head in front of him? Have you lived enough? Although Lin Yu himself doesn't have any strong power, Wanda is his counter-scale. No one can threaten his sister, especially after I have just acquired the system. These people are simply looking for death, really. As expected. After Lin Yu's heart burned with anger, the whole grocery store seemed to tremble. Countless mutations, madness began. Ding. Your grocery store felt the anger of the owner and turned the ground under the enemy's feet into a trap. You only need to gently press the button on the watch, and the enemy will disappear into the dark underground. Suddenly, a red button appeared on Lin Yu's watch. Ding. The surveillance camera in your grocery store felt the owner's anger, mutated, and successfully turned itself into a fully automatic aiming laser weapon. Suddenly, a red dot appeared on each soldier's forehead. Ding. Your sister's coat sensed a hint of danger and took the initiative to increase the bulletproof function. Suddenly, Wanda suddenly felt his body sink, as if there were a lot of hard and heavy things inside the coat. With the sound of system prompts, the entire grocery store has almost become a weapon arsenal. These mutations are almost all completed in an instant. The reminder in Lin Yu's mind was almost loud. Looking around, Lin Yu's eyes are all small characters representing mutated items. Although they are only level 1 mutant items, but can't hold up the large number, and these soldiers are not really terrifying enemies. These level 1 mutant items are more than enough to deal with them. Among them, the strongest one is definitely the mutated camera, turned into a laser weapon. Although its appearance has not changed much, its internal structure has undergone drastic changes. Especially the red dot shining from inside, they appeared on the forehead of every soldier. As a group of battle-tested soldiers, how can they not know the meaning of this red dot? Sniper rifle. There is a sniper in this room, or outside a window. Several soldiers looked at each other, and they all saw a deep horror in each other's eyes. Definitely. This kind of fear is nothing. At this stalemate, a fat husky rolled up the stairs to the first floor. When it saw its mistress was pointed at the head with a gun, its body instantly appeared dark red. The temperature in the air has risen by several degrees at once. Look like this. Seems to be transformed right away. This is pretty good. Whether it's the soldiers or Lin Yu, they all know the power of the three-headed dog in hell. If you transform here, not only the soldiers, but even the Lin Yu brothers and sisters will definitely be burned into slag. Can't let it become that kind of monster, at the moment. Whether it is Lin Yu or the few soldiers, they all have this idea in their minds. And all put into action. Lin Yu hurriedly stretched out his hand and stopped at Erha. Erha, don't be impulsive. Squad leader Havoc, looking at Erha on the ground with deep horror in his eyes, pushed the pistol pointed at Wanda forward again, and said, "Don't move, or I will shoot." Erha's transformation stopped immediately. I don't know if it is because of the threat from the other party or Lin Yu's order. In short, it returned to calm, only. At this time, the system prompt in Lin Yu's mind rang again. Ding. Because your little girl's forehead is extremely scared, Awakening has a bulletproof function, and Wolverine is nothing more than that. Lin Yu, who had just stopped Erha, was stunned. Standing blankly on the spot. Does this work? Can Wanda's forehead mutate? Hearing this prompt, and seeing the line of small characters floating on Wanda's head, Lin Yu's face suddenly showed a smile. This system is simply talent. What are you afraid of? Wasn't Wanda the oldest Iron Girl in history? Thinking of this title, Lin Yu suddenly couldn't laugh or cry. The anger in my heart gradually disappeared. Anyway, sit back and relax. There is a button that can kill these soldiers under the ground at any time, and there is a laser weapon on top of the head that can be aimed at any time and ready to shoot. It seems that these soldiers are already the turtles in the urn. But the situation is still stalemate. Although the soldiers did not know Lin Yu's other methods, they could see the red dots on the foreheads of each teammate. They are also worried about their fate. And Lin Yu is now thinking about how to deal with these nasty guys. The anger is gone, but it doesn't mean to let them go. Dare to threaten your little sister, it's not an exaggeration to make 1,000 cuts. However, just then, Wanda spoke, although she was still a little scared in her heart. However, the scene just now made her feel a little weird. Because, just now, whether it was these soldiers or their own brothers, they were keeping their pet dogs still. Why are they afraid of Erha? Somewhat weird. Erha is so cute, why everyone seems to be afraid of it? Wanda was puzzled, but, because of this, Wanda's nervousness was relieved a lot. At this time, Wanda finally got the mood to communicate with her brother. Brother, Wanda's tone was filled with crying. Lin Wei felt distressed for a moment, but the next words made Lin Yu completely speechless again. They are not here to buy things, Wanda shouted in a hoarse voice. Hearing this, not only Lin Yu was speechless, but even the soldiers felt a little ridiculous. Special meow, we are definitely not here to buy things. Can't you see that we have guns in our hands? Can't you see our menacing force? Moreover, in your little broken shop, there is nothing good for us to buy. Really a woman with big breasts and no brains. Havoc looked around, there were some stubborn shelves. There is really nothing to buy. What? Wrong. Although nothing is too expensive, daily necessities are more in line with mass consumption. And it seems that I still lack an ashtray. At the moment, Lin Yu is about to inquire about the other parties coming. Definitely. As a rebirth who knows the story of Marvel, Lin Yu has already guessed about their identities. It must be General Ross's men who were right. After all, General Rose was in hatred of the helicopter above his head that night. The appearance of the three-headed dog of hell naturally aroused the idea of a General Rose. And it is indeed not difficult for the United States military to investigate its own identity. But the only thing Lin Yu didn't expect was that General Rose's people came so quickly. And so aggressive. Originally just watching a movie, Lin Yu also felt that General Ross was just a bit bad. Not a big villain. However, when things happened to him, Lin Yu's impression of this guy fell into a trough in an instant. This Meow is simply a supervillain. If you want something, just send someone to grab it. Also threatened a little girl with a gun. No, the wicked are not counted. It's not human. General Ross has been remembered by Lin Yu. For these running dogs of General Ross, Lin Yu is also ready to do it. Now that Wanda is safe, they should also be on the road. However, just when Lin Yu was about to press the button on the watch, Captain Havoc, who pointed the gun at Wanda's forehead, suddenly put the gun away. His eyes looked straight at a beautiful ashtray on the shelf, and then walked over. The players behind him are all dumbfounded. What happened to the captain? What's the situation? Why didn't the hostages go to the shelf? Could it be that what happened? Wanda was also dumbfounded. The enemy even retracted the pistol. Wanda hurriedly turned around and hid behind Lin Yu in 3 or 2 steps. Lin Yu was also stunned. This situation seems a bit unexpected. I wanted them to be buried underground, but the leader stepped out of the trap. This is not surprising. What's even stranger is that he actually picked up an ashtray on the shelf and looked at it carefully. Then, after taking a closer look, Havoc turned around and looked at his players. Somewhat puzzled, he said, "It's not easy to come out, don't you buy something to take back?" This picture is as weird as it is, definitely. Only Lin Yu and Wanda felt weird. Several of Havoc's teammates were not surprised. After hearing the captain's words, they put down their weapons one after another, with simple smiles on their faces. Some touched their heads, as if they were thinking about what to buy. Some, like the captain, came directly to the shelf and directly picked up their favorite things. In short, in the whole grocery store, a scene of harmony and friendship. At this moment, Wanda, hiding behind Lin Yu, whispered, "Brother, these people are here to make fun, right?" Lin Yu smiled slightly, touched Wanda's iron head dozingly, and slowly said, "No, they just came out of the crew next to them, and they haven't had time to change their clothes." Wanda is not stupid, although it looks a bit silly and sweet on the surface. But children who grow up in orphanages can't grow up as silly and sweet. There is no such condition and opportunity, so Wanda naturally saw a strange smell permeating the entire grocery store. Moreover, when she was pointed at her forehead by a pistol just now, she also heard the dingling noises all over the room. It seems that the whole grocery store is angry because of being threatened. Until now, Wanda can see the red dots on the foreheads of those soldiers. My brother, I must have lied to myself, but Wanda did not expose Lin Yu. In other words, he was not exposed temporarily. Wanda didn't want the brother who cared the most to alienate himself because of his ignorance. At this moment, shopping is finally coming to an end. Several soldiers came to the counter with the things they had picked. Lin Yu gently pushed Wanda directly to the front and said, "Little girl, collect the money." In Wanda's eyes, at the moment, there was no fear. Hearing the word, "receive money," both eyes seemed to change to dollars. Looking at the groceries placed on the counter, Wanda didn't count it, and said directly, "Well, these items are fine products, and they total $300. Hearing this amount, even the corners of Lin Yu's mouth couldn't help but twitch slightly. Until now, I did not understand a problem. Dare to feel that this is a black shop. Those things, the total purchase price is definitely not more than $10. Wanda directly shouted out 30 times the high price. But what made Lin Yu thankful was that the other party didn't even make a counteroffer. Lin Yu couldn't help but quietly glanced at the side of the counter, the beckoning cat who has been beckoning and has never tirelessly. Original. This special cat is the real strongest mutant item. But what makes Lin Yu and Wanda speechless again is, faced with Wanda's bid, although several soldiers did not counter-offer. But they scratched their heads, with extremely wonderful expressions on their faces, and muttered, "It seems that we don't have any money." Hearing this, Wanda's face changed drastically. The dollar in his eyes instantly turned into anger. "What's that? No money for shopping? Why don't you grab it?" This is much more irritating than the preliminarily dressed up guys. Everyone knows that you have to bring money to buy things. There are no other gangsters with high quality of your actors? Is the entertainment industry so dark now? Wanda pinched his waist with one hand, and pointed Havoc's forehead with the other, and was about to curse. With her own brother backing her back, she is not afraid of anything. No, there should be no dollars, she has lost her sanity. The other side. Lin Yu was terrified. These guys are not so good. Although the situation is a bit weird now, but the other party will not recognize the person if he is not sure. Seeing that Wanda was going to freak out, Lin Yu hurriedly took Wanda's little hand back and winked Wanda. It means, let Wanda stay calm. Then, Lin Yu smiled and took out a POS machine from the counter, and said to Havoc and others, "If you have no money, you can swipe your card." Havoc suddenly realized, I even forgot about it. Hastily rummaged through her body and took out a credit card from her underwear pocket and handed it to Lin Yu with a face full of guilt. "Sorry, I forgot to swipe my card." Swipe the card, enter the password, pick up the goods and leave. All in one go. Several soldiers, holding their beloved items in their hands, finally walked out the door of the grocery store. Wanda's expression finally eased a lot. After all, people are customers, and customers are God. How can one scold God? This face change speed is faster than flipping a book. Lin Yu also let out a long sigh of relief. But although a few plague gods were sent away, it is estimated that this kind of thing will happen in the future. After all, he has been exposed to the sight of those organizations. Perhaps the future will not be calm. However, Lin Yu is still very satisfied with the performance of the system today. Life-saving is basically no problem, but the means of revenge are so common. After a few soldiers have left, I am afraid there is only one way to destroy them. Looking at Wanda next to him, Lin Yu moved his mind and said, "Wanda, go and wipe the lucky cat at the door. I think it must have helped us attract so many customers. We wiped it back and we confessed it." Hearing the old brother's arrangement, Wanda couldn't help but nodded in agreement. Really. After passing through these two groups of guests, Wanda also felt that this lucky cat seemed to have some ways. Sure enough, metaphysics is also a kind of science. Wanda hurried over and patted the beckoning cat on the head affectionately. Then, holding the lucky cat, I went to the second floor to find a clean rag. At this moment, Lin Yu finally had the opportunity to arrange something. He looked at Erha, who was lazily squatting on the ground. Lin Yu walked over with a smirk on his face. Erha looked at his master reluctantly, and got up from the ground very reluctantly. It seems that it has guessed something. Sure enough, with the blood of the three-headed dog of hell, Erha has also become a lot smarter. Lin Yu squatted on the ground, stroked Erha's forehead lightly, and said softly, "Erha, do you remember the smell of those guys just now?" Erha nodded humanely. Lin Yu was overjoyed. "Really? Well, it's my good dog," Lin Yu said excitedly. Then, Lin Yu showed a cruel look on his face and said to Erha again, "Go, eat the few people who bullied Wanda just now, let them know how powerful we are." Lin Yu stood up, reached out his hand and pointed to the direction outside the door, energetic. At the moment, Lin Yu, like the protagonist in Poké Copyright Mon, ordered his pet, "Go, Pikachu." However, Erha's reaction was somewhat slow. Although he has become smarter, when he hasn't transformed himself, it is still the slightly fat husky. It's really not very flexible. Lin Yu raised his hand for a long time, but he didn't see Erha's movements. Suddenly Lin Yu was unhappy, his face changed. No mercy on the feet. A flying kick directly hit Erha's ass. With the help of Lin Yu's kick, Erha finally took off successfully. Pidian ran towards the door, but what Lin Yu didn't see was, after Erha walked out of the door of the grocery store, his eyes suddenly flashed with a green light. It's a bit like the color of the Hulk's eyes. Obviously. After eating the head of hatred, Erha's mutation has already deviated from its original track. At the moment, the few soldiers sitting on the military off-road vehicle were still in a trance. They looked at the things they were carrying, and then at the weapons on their bodies, with a bewildered expression. What are you doing this time? Have you bought all the things you want to buy? Although the soldiers are a little confused, but they are still a little certain. That is, I bought all the things I wanted to buy this time. Although a bit expensive, but it's also good value for money. Sitting in the co-pilot, Havoc said to the driver next to him, "Hurry up and drive, I will see if my ashtray works well when I go back." The horsepower of the military off-road vehicle is sufficient. With a kick of the accelerator, he galloped towards the New York military base. But this suffers from the second Ha. Although Erha was extremely brave after transforming, as a fat man, he really couldn't catch up with the speeding car. But the master arranged the task, and it had to run back without completing it. This is not in line with the setting of a good dog. Erha can only squeeze his feet and catch up, but what makes Erha feel a little strange? The more you run, the more relaxed it feels. It seems that the potential of the body has been stimulated. But what Erha didn't know was that as it kept running, the green in its eyes became more and more. In the end, it occupies the entire eye socket. In addition, there is a tendency to continue to spread to the body. According to the current progress, I am afraid that when it catches up with those soldiers, it is estimated that most of its skin will turn green. In the case of Erha, Lin Yu and Wanda are even more unclear. At the moment, the two of them are looking for a good place for the lucky cat. Such an excellent lucky cat, naturally, can't be placed on the counter casually like before. At least, find a good place for it, at this moment. Lin Yu's eyes brightened. He remembered that in his previous life, people liked to put things like Lordland and Guangdong at the front door. This place should be a treasure of geomantic omen. Just do it. Lin Yu and Wanda hit it off. He directly dragged the shelf facing the door aside, then picked a brand new square table and placed it next to the wall facing the door. Then, the lucky cat was solemnly placed in the center of the square table. Go. Buy some fruit or something, and put it on the table. Lin Yu waved his hand and arranged again. Since he just made a lot of money, Wanda didn't care too much about Lin Yu's prodigal behavior. Taking a few dollars from the counter drawer, he ran out. At this moment, the system prompt in Lin Yu's mind rang again. Ding. Your lucky cat felt a strong sense of ritual. After taking care of his own image, the paint surface became brighter. It's boring. Lin Yu muttered a few words before he was too lazy to bother. Tossing for a long time, Lin Yu finally has time to study his mobile phone. After all, the lucky cat can only be regarded as the basic salary level for Lin Yu and Wanda. If you want to make a lot of money, want to get a commission, you still have to be this mobile phone that can trade in stocks. Lin Yu turned on the phone and studied it carefully. Really? I don't know when there is an additional stock trading software in it. No matter in his previous life or in this life, Lin Yu has never used stock trading software. So, this will have to be studied carefully. Fortunately, Lin Yu's learning ability is pretty good. After a few minutes, Lin Yu figured out how to register an account and recharge it. There is not much money to recharge, only a few $100s. However, this is already Lin Yu's possessions. Really. After I filled my stock account with money, the stock trading software started to move on its own. No Lin Yu operation at all. Pick stocks, place orders, buy, and go smoothly. However, the name of the stock that he bought made Lin Yu a little confused. Although Lin Yu doesn't know how to trade stocks, the names of the stocks can still be understood. The stocks automatically bought by my mobile phone are called Hanmer Industries. Why does this name sound so familiar? Lin Yu thought about it for a moment, and then remembered it. Isn't this the military industry enterprise? In the Iron Man movie, it is a funny existence. Not only is Hanmer Industries a joke, his boss is also a joke. Although Hanmer Industries can also produce many weapons, they have been crushed by Iron Man Tony Stark Industries. Buying their stocks, isn't this a court death? Wrong. Lin Yu rolled his eyes and immediately thought of a possibility. In the movie, there must be a period of time when the shares of Hanmer Industries have grown wildly. That is, the time when Tony was kidnapped and his life is still unknown. Could it be? Now Tony has been caught? Or is it possible that your mobile phone can predict the future just like yourself? Lin Yu hurriedly turned on the computer and searched the internet for news of Tony Stark. But there is no news of being killed, except that he was drenched in flowers everywhere and participated in charitable donations everywhere. Can this thing really predict the future? Lin Yu does not believe in evil. On the computer, I am constantly looking for the latest news. However, I didn't find any news about Tony, but found another news related to me. Do not. It's not about yourself. It is related to Erha. New York Daily News reporters are broadcasting live for you. A green monster that doesn't know where it came from is attacking a New York military base in the western suburbs of New York. The monster is so terrifying, like a mad dog, already. It can be seen that the military is also organizing a counterattack, but the effect is minimal. Our reporter has called the military spokesperson, but has not yet received any reply regarding this attack. Looking at the news screen, the majestic monster, madly attacking the New York military base, Lin Yu felt that his head was about to explode. He clearly just asked Erha to kill the few soldiers. It was good, and went straight to the New York military base. Isn't this special cat declaring war directly with the United States military? Although in the Marvel world, the United States military is only a small supporting role. But even if it is a supporting role, they are also regular soldiers. Be a grocery store owner yourself. What do you mess with them? Damn it. Lin Yu was extremely angry. This dog, although it seems now, is still the strongest force around him. But it is also the strongest in trouble ability. But when Lin Yu looked at the monster in the news screen again, he showed a trace of doubt. In the picture, after the lens is zoomed in, Lin Yu suddenly found out. This monster is not a three-headed hell dog, but a big green dog. Its appearance is somewhat similar to Erha, but it is stronger. And the whole body is green and oily, just like the skin of a Hulk. See here. Lin Yu's eyes gradually lit up. Whose dog is this? It's definitely not my second Ha. If someone asks in the future, just say so. Anyway, his Erha can only become a three-headed dog from hell, which is definitely not such a strange appearance. As long as you insist on one bite, then this matter has nothing to do with yourself. Just when Lin Yu was watching the news screen nervously, for fear that the dog suddenly showed the appearance of a three-headed dog in hell. New York military base, in an underground building. General Ross is cursing his men, and the Havoc team, who had just purchased a lot of daily necessities in Lin Yu grocery store, was lowering its head, accepting the anger of General Rose. At the moment, their heads are still a little confused. Although General Rose has made it very clear. But from the bottom of their hearts, they feel that when they go to that grocery store, they go shopping. Catch the guy named Lin Yu? There is indeed such a thing. But it does not seem to conflict with my own shopping. What? Wrong. It seems to be back before completing the task. General, should we go to that grocery store again? Havoc asked weakly. General Rose is even more angry. F***KU. Go ahead and solve the monster on the ground for me. General Rose kicked Havoc's stomach. He rarely does it, but today I was so angry. My team members have not yet completed their tasks, so they all went shopping. Is this trying to rebel? And also, the big green dog on the ground didn't know what it was. He was about to bite his base into a garbage dump. And from the look of it, it turned out to be looking for the entrance to the underground base. If it breaks into here, you will lose your old face. But the green monster on the ground was obviously not easy to deal with. It has almost the same defensive abilities as the Hulk, ordinary weapons, and there is really no way to use it. Moreover, this monster is crazier than the Hulk. For a while, I bite with my teeth, and then I use my front legs to pull hard on the ground, not knowing what I'm looking for. While arranging the attack on the monster, General Rose said to his hands, "Go to the experimental target number 1, send more manpower, don't let the target number 1 take the opportunity to run away." Target number 1 is actually the Hulk. Last time, after the three-headed dog of hell, the Hulk did not run away like in the plot. Instead, it fell into the hands of General Rose. On the ground of the New York military base, the fighting continued. Regardless of the crazy attacks of various weapons, the monster has been biting something. When Havoc brought his team to the ground, just discovered What you see in the video screen is completely different from the reality. This monster is really terrifying, it's just a big Hulk. Do not. More terrifying than the Hulk, because the big mouth of this monster's blood basin is too powerful. One bite can directly bite a tank through. Havoc fired a few shots casually and gave up the attack. This thing, even after hitting this shuttle bullet, has no effect. But what makes Havoc a little dazed is that he didn't attack the monster, but the monster stopped biting and twitched his nose. Then he ran straight towards Havoc and others. Before Erha's transformation, the speed was ridiculously slow. But after transforming into a green giant Erha, the speed is simply not too fast. In a few steps, I came directly to Havoc and the others. There seemed to be a trace of joy in a pair of big green eyes. Havoc was dumbfounded. All his team members were dumbfounded. How does this monster feel that he is coming for himself? New York military base, in an underground secret base. General Rose looked at the big screen in front of him with his hands behind his back. The anger in my heart kept rising. That monster actually ran into his own lair, and he simply didn't pay attention to the United States military. For the origin of this monster, Rose has basically determined. It was definitely created by the blood of the Hulk. The only thing I don't know is whether this monster inadvertently ate something with the blood of the Hulk or was artificially made. If it is artificial, it will be troublesome. After studying for so long on my own side, I haven't found a way to make a Hulk warrior. Someone actually walked ahead of him. If this kind of monster is equipped in the army, it will definitely destroy the world. Definitely. These questions were just a matter of thought by General Ross. At the moment, what he was most angry about was the monster's attack. His own army would have nothing to do with it for a while. Could it be? Want to use weapons of mass destruction? But this is in my own lair. If you use missiles, your own military base will suffer huge amounts of losses. But those ordinary weapons have no effect on that monster. This gave Rose a great headache, but at this time, the green monster in the picture suddenly seemed to have found the target. No longer madly destroy buildings on the ground, but 3 or 2 steps came to the front of a few soldiers. The camera on the reconnaissance drone clearly captured the appearance of the few people. Havoc? That monster. Why did you find Havoc specifically? Rose muttered to himself. He was a little confused about the situation. But Hulk Erha did not give anyone time to react. He opened his blood basin and swallowed Havoc in one mouthful. Immediately afterwards, is his team member. Those tall and mighty soldiers are no different from a chicken in its mouth. Without chewing, I swallowed it directly, and in front of it, those soldiers had absolutely no resistance at all. It doesn't matter whether it is shot or fleeing, it has no effect at all. It's not at a level of strength at all. In front of the surveillance screen, General Ross was stunned. The strongest combat squad under his own, was the whole army wiped out like this? And that monster can eat people? After swallowing the few soldiers, Erha suddenly turned his head and ran away. His body is getting smaller and smaller as he runs. Finally disappeared completely in the woods next to the New York military base, without a trace. This terrorist attack is like a farce. It comes fast, and it goes fast. In just 10 minutes, the entire New York military base was in ruins. And what made General Ross feel weird? Only 5 people died in the entire battle. The Havoc team, the whole army is wiped out. The other soldiers had only a few minor injuries. It seems that the green monster is here for Havoc and others. But how could Havoc and others get into such a monster? After thinking about it, General Rose finally targeted the Asian youth. After returning from the grocery store, Havoc and others spoke and acted strangely. General Rose narrowed his eyes. Lin Yu's sense of mystery in General Ross's mind has once again strengthened a lot. However, hatred has increased countless times. At the same time, SHIELD headquarters. Director Nick Fury also saw the picture of the New York military base being attacked for the first time. He frowned slightly. If this attack was also done by the guy named Lin Yu, it would be troublesome. Although SHIELD has no connection with the military. But if the goal of recruiting is to destroy the prisoners of the New York military base, it will definitely be difficult. Moreover, it is impossible for the above to recruit Lin Yu. Hill. Has Natasha Romanoff started? Nick Fury asked. Behind her, Hill agent hurried forward 2 steps. I received the news that she just got off the plane. Should I let her come to see you? Hill agent said. Nick Fury shook his head and said, tell her that time is running out and I don't need to see me, just go to the task. Okay, Director. Hill agent said. After speaking, we should contact Natasha Romanoff. At this moment, Nick Fury said again, Also, tell her to be careful and try not to offend that guy. I think he may be more dangerous than we judged. Nick Fury, as a bystander, seems to be vaguely aware of some connections between these two events. Whether it is killing the hated monster on the streets of New York, or the monster attacking the New York military base, it seems to look a bit like a dog. Especially for the second time, although it looks a little stouter, it is simply the green and bold version of the husky. In Lin Yu's information, it is written in detail that he owns a husky. Among them, there must be some connection. Nick Fury felt that perhaps he had thought of this young man too simple before. Just one of his dogs has two forms of horror. Then, how strong is he himself? Nick Fury felt that he still had to remind Natasha Romanoff to make her be more cautious. Otherwise, if you accidentally eaten it by your pet dog, you will be unlucky. Hearing Nick Fury's words, Hill Agent nodded solemnly. Then, the communication equipment of Natasha Romanoff was dialed. After dialing Natasha Romanoff's phone, the Hill Agent relayed the order of Director Nick Fury to Natasha Romanoff. Hearing the description of Hill Agent on the phone, Natasha Romanoff's face also became serious. As one of the protagonists of the Marvel series, Natasha Romanoff is very knowledgeable. But this is indeed the strangest thing she has ever heard. How can a pet dog become such a powerful monster? Moreover, there may be two forms of terror, simply unheard of. After receiving the order, Natasha Romanoff immediately began an investigation of Lin Yu. Whether it's the orphanage or today's grocery store, whether it's public or private, everything is pulled out. Even Lin Yu knows exactly how much private money he has. But what puzzled Natasha Romanoff a little? Just half a day ago, Lin Yu actually invested all the money in his bank account into the stock market. And through some hacking methods, she discovered an even more incredible thing. That guy actually bought all the funds from Hammer Industries. Go crazy. Even Natasha Romanoff, who only knows a little about stocks, knows that Hammer Industries stock is about to fall to Grandma's house now. Due to the recent increase in orders from Hammer Industries' old rivals, Stark Industries in the military, Hammer Industries' life is not easy. Almost on the verge of bankruptcy. In this case, what smart brain made such a ridiculous decision to buy all of your assets in Hammer Industries? But immediately afterwards, Natasha Romanoff noticed something wrong. Since Nick Fury values this man so much, he might not be as simple as he thought. Perhaps he knows some inside stories. In stock trading, the real winners are only those who know the inside information. Everything else is just fish on the plate. But here comes the problem. How could a guy who just came out of the orphanage just a few $100s in his possessions have inside information? It seems a bit weird. What Natasha Romanoff thinks and how he investigates, there seems to be a fog that blocks his vision. At this time, Hill Agent's call came in again. Natasha Romanoff hurriedly answered the phone. On the phone, the Hill Agent said, "Natasha Romanoff, the director just received a message that Tony Stark of Stark Industries was attacked by terrorists today and has disappeared. Because his identity is too special, the above requires a S.H.I.E.L.D. to also participate in Tony Stark's search and rescue work, so Chief Nick asked me to tell you to complete Lin Yu's investigation and assessment work as soon as possible, and then return to the Bureau to participate in the search and rescue task of Tony Stark. S.H.I.E.L.D. is seriously understaffed, especially high-end agents. Natasha Romanoff's tasks are always onerous. Therefore, Natasha Romanoff has already taken care of the fact that there is a new mission before the previous mission is completed." "Okay, got it," Natasha Romanoff replied happily. But before she could hang up the phone, a flash of light flashed in her mind. Natasha Romanoff seems to think of something. "Wait, what did you say?" Natasha Romanoff asked in a daze. On the other side of the phone, Hill Agent was also a little confused. "How do you feel that Natasha Romanoff is a little absent-minded?" he said clearly just now. However, the very professional Hill Agent explained again. "Tony Stark was suddenly killed today and his whereabouts are unknown." Tony Stark was killed? This is too coincidental. My own investigation goal, I just bought all my funds to buy the stocks of Stark Industries' old rival Hammer Industries. Soon after, Tony Stark was killed, and Tony Stark is the boss of Stark Industries again. So, here comes the problem. What happens after Tony Stark is killed? Without Tony Stark, Stark Industries will definitely suffer huge amounts of losses. At the same time, the stock of Stark Industries will definitely fall sharply in a short period of time. Correspondingly, as the biggest competitor of Stark Industries, Hammer Industries. Oh my. Follow this logic. Did that guy named Lin Yu become a stock of several $100s and plan the murder of Tony Stark? That's crazy. A few $100s. Even if it doubles in the stock market, it would be a few $1,000s. Natasha Romanoff's head is short-circuited. This thing really sounds weird. However, the biggest doubt is not that the timing of the two events is too coincidental. Instead, Lin Yu bought all the money from Hammer Industries. This is an all-or-nothing behavior. When Natasha Romanoff was in the Red House, he studied psychology. Dare to make a desperate move, this can only show one problem. That is, Lin Yu, I definitely knew the news of Tony Stark's murder in advance. In other words, even this matter he is a participant. A huge conspiracy seems to be gradually unveiled by Natasha Romanoff. Natasha Romanoff felt a little pain in her head. She felt that she was thinking wrong, it was just a pure coincidence? After all, for a few $100s, this would be too fussy. And with Tony Stark's worth, if he can be kidnapped, how much money is required is not a trivial matter. There is no need to go to the stock market to earn those thousands of dollars. But this coincidence is really too exaggerated. Lin Yu had just bought all the stock of Hammer Industries in the front foot, and Tony Stark was killed in the back foot. No more than 2 hours before and after. Hill, tell the chief, ask Phil Coulson or Barton to come with me, Natasha Romanoff said into the phone. On the other side of the phone, Hill agent suddenly went blind. Today, Natasha Romanoff seems a little different. She used to like to act alone. She would refuse to arrange a partner for her in the bureau. And today, you actually asked for a partner. What are you doing today? Hill asked suspiciously. I think Lin Yu's affairs are not that simple. Maybe he has something to do with Tony Stark's disappearance, Natasha Romanoff said slowly. At the moment, in the grocery store on 58th Avenue in Manhattan. Lin Yu doesn't know yet, because his mobile phone stocks have attracted the attention of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sitting in front of a computer, Lin Yu is still searching about Tony Stark. According to his judgment, since the mobile phone chose to buy the shares of Hammer Industries at this time, it must indicate that Tony Stark is about to be killed. In other words, Iron Man is about to appear. Lin Yu is very excited. According to the system, as long as you participate in the plot and meet the core characters, you can get plot points. And you only need to have another plot point and you can upgrade the system yourself. Lin Yu has already seen the ability of the system. Level 1 mutation is already very strong, and the only second-order mutation turned his Erha into a terrifying 3-headed dog from hell. Then, if you upgrade your system to level 2, wouldn't it be even cooler? Wouldn't there be more second-order mutations? It's cool to think about it, but, at this time, Wanda looked at his old brother's fascinating look and walked over quietly. She thought, what kind of messy website her brother was looking at. After all, Lin Yu's appearance seems to have a little light in his eyes. And Lin Yu is not in this state when he usually plays games. When playing games, I can't wait to smash all the keyboards. But now, with one hand on the mouse, both eyes are squinted at the computer screen. Brother, what are you doing? Wanda suddenly jumped behind Lin Yu, and suddenly patted Lin Yu on the shoulder. This action shocked Lin Yu. Lin Yu patted his chest, glanced at Wanda behind him bitterly, and muttered to himself. How can my little girl be too lively? Why doesn't it feel like the quiet Scarlet Witch Wanda? Could it be done by herself? Wrong, they just have the same name? Lin Yu clearly remembered that Wanda in the Marvel movie was not so lively. Is it possible that her personality has been distorted because of her own reasons? Lin Yu glanced at Wanda again. But, however, I don't know if the personality is distorted and not distorted, but at the moment Wanda's face is a bit distorted. Brother. No wonder you have no feeling for me. Do you like this style? Wanda's face was distorted, pointing to the photo of Tony on Lin Yu's computer, and Roar was desperately surprised. She can no longer be reserved. Just now, my own brother, with a squint look, was actually looking at this. The picture on the computer screen is a picture of Tony Stark. There were tears in Wanda's eyes instantly. She felt that her heart would be broken. Lin Yu was also dumbfounded. This silly little girl herself was really distorted because of her own reasons. How could I like men? Seeing that Wanda was about to cry, Lin Yu hurriedly explained. Don't think about it, I don't like men. Then this photo. How do you explain it? Wanda pointed to Tony Stark's photo on the computer, and Iwa said with rain. Lin Yu was completely out of touch. Can only explain. I'm searching for his news, I bought the stock of this person's competitor. Lin Yu can only come out with a tray, originally. I also want to make some private money secretly. This is just great. If Wanda, a financial fan, knows, his private money plan will definitely be ruined. Really. Hearing that Lin Yu was trading in stocks, Wanda immediately put away the crying. 2 golden rays of light suddenly lit up in her eyes. The speed of face change is faster than that of Stark Industries stocks. At the moment, Lin Yu has searched the internet about Tony Stark's disappearance. And, in the stock market, a chain reaction has begun.